Inside Greeley welcomes you as we have an opportunity to talk about a very special month, the month of May. Special for a lot of reasons, but for the purposes of our conversation today, it's Historic Preservation Month. And the City of Greeley Historic Preservation Specialist Betsy Kellums joins me. And Betsy, nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Bob. It's nice to be here.
Well, it's a great month and a lot of things going on. And I guess first things first, there is a reception about the middle of the month here at Centennial Village from where we talk.
Yes, we'll be having our Historic Preservation Month celebration on Sunday, May 15th here at Centennial Village Museum. We'll be having it from 1 until 3 p.m. We will present Historic Preservation Month awards, posters to those people who have their properties on the Historic Preservation Month poster, and then also plaques to several property owners that have Greeley Historic Register plaques.
A lot of neat things about historic preservation, and I think at least one of the amenities, and particularly from your perspective, is there's a lot of people that have a genuine passion for this, is there not?
Yes, there are quite a few people, especially in Greeley. We are very blessed to have a lot of people who are interested in Greeley's history and interested in preserving what we have here.
There's a theme or a motto for the month, and I love it. Tell us about it.
This Place Matters is the nationwide theme for Historic Preservation Month. Across the country, May is Historic Preservation Month. Greeley has participated in that for many years. And this year's theme, This Place Matters, is something that people will be able to share their stories. We're encouraging people to share their stories about their special places that matter to them. They don't even have to be historic, certainly don't have to be something designated as historic, but just the places that really matter to them and the stories that go along with those.
It sounds like an exciting opportunity, and we hope people take advantage of doing that. Again, how do they do that as far as setting in pictures and so forth?
They could certainly email pictures to me at the city, as well as their stories. And they could also post them on the city's Facebook page, I believe, if they have questions about that, to contact the city.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, there are just a variety and a multitude of activities, including some brown bag presentations.
Yes, we do have our History Brown Bag series continuing this year. We will be doing, continuing on the fourth Thursday of the month. Bill Veach is going to be presenting about Greeley's tunnels in May on the fourth Thursday. And then there will be several other presentations. The young Chautauquans will be performing. There will be a presentation about the Great Western Cattle Trail. Rattlesnake Kate will be joining us again. The Great Western Railway and plaster disaster recovery, the rehabilitation of the plaster ceiling at the Cress.
Okay, and do want to remind, as we mentioned, there's a whole variety of activities, and the complete schedule, the times and so forth are available online.
Yes, those are available on the city's website, and those topics I just mentioned are the topics for the brown bags through October. We will just have one in May.
Okay, talk a little bit about the walking tours. Those are special as well.
Yes, we actually had our first walking tour back in April, and that was a lunchtime tour. But the rest of the tours this year will be in the evenings. We'll be having a tour of the Cranford neighborhood in June, as well as a tour of the 8th Avenue corridor between 10th and 16th Streets. The city has a grant to do a historic resource survey along that corridor from on 8th Avenue from 10th to 16th Street. So we will be doing a tour of that area to share some of the information that we have learned from the survey. We will also be doing a tour in the Sunrise neighborhood, a tour at the Plum Farm, and then also a tour of the Weld County Courthouse this year.
There's also a grant, I understand, and you can fill in the pieces about a historic survey that is ongoing.
Yes, and our survey consultant that did the survey of the 8th Avenue corridor has just recently finished kind of the draft of the report and the inventory forms for each of the properties. He looked at all the properties on the 8th Avenue corridor from 10th to 16th Streets, both sides, and did some research on them, took photos, and then developed architectural descriptions, got our architectural information, and then wrote a report, provided findings and recommendations, and we're submitting that to the state for review. The project should be done probably midsummer to late summer, and we'll have another public meeting to present those results.
Always like to take the opportunity to advise people if they're not aware as to how they go about getting something historically declared as historical, if I put that in somewhat of an accurate manner.
Yes, they would just contact the Historic Preservation Office, and we would walk through the process and look to see if it was something that was potentially eligible, and if they were interested and it was potentially eligible, they would submit a nomination with some basic research. I do further detailed research and then send it to the commission, and they review it and make a decision to designate it or not if it's owner nominated.
Is there opportunities for people that would like to get a hands-on involvement that are not already involved, and what would you suggest they do?
Oh yes, they could call me and we could figure out something that they could help with.
Okay. Anything else that we left out or we ought to reemphasize about the month of May as the National and City of Greeley Historic Preservation Month?
Well, I would just like to say this place, Greeley, matters.
That says it very, very nicely, and we'll put an exclamation point behind that. Betsy, thanks as always for your information and involvement, and we enjoyed talking to you. Thanks so kindly.
Thank you, Bob.
City of Greeley Historic Preservation Specialist Betsy Callum's our guest on Inside Greeley.